Defne and the City of Golden Ages. Defne arrived in Istanbul with a notebook full of questions. Her grandmother, Emin, met her by the water. "Look, Defne," Emin said, pointing across the wide, sparkling blue. "This is the Bosphorus. It's where Europe meets Asia, all in one city." Defne scribbled, "Intercontinental city." "But what about the names?" she asked. "I read about Byzantium and Constantinople." Emin smiled. "They're all true. The Greeks founded Byzantium. The Romans renamed it Constantinople. And for hundreds of years, it was the greatest city in the world. See that curve of water? That's the Golden Horn, its perfect harbor." Their first stop was Sultanahmet Square. Towering over them was Hagia Sophia, a building so vast it felt like a mountain. For almost 1,000 years, it was the largest church on earth, Emin whispered. Then, when the Ottomans took the city, they added those towering minarets. Right across the park stood the Sultan Ahmed Mosque, famous worldwide as the Blue Mosque. Defne looked up at its 6 slender minarets. Inside, thousands of blue tiles covered the walls, shining like the sky on a perfect summer day. It was a beautiful contrast to its ancient neighbor. "Now, we go back in time and underground," Emin teased. They climbed down into the dark, echoing space of the basilica cistern. Hundreds of damp columns rose out of the water, holding up the ceiling. Defne felt like she was exploring an ancient, secret palace hidden beneath the streets. The next day, they explored Topkapi Palace, the grand home of the Ottoman sultans. Emin explained how these powerful rulers lived and governed for nearly 400 years from these very courtyards. Defne imagined vast armies and beautiful gardens spreading across the hill overlooking the water. To see the city properly, they boarded a ferry. The Bosphorus felt different when you were riding on it. Defne watched the colorful houses slide by, marveling at how one side was technically Europe and the other Asia. The wind whipped her hair, carrying the salty scent of the sea. Back on the European side, they dove into the spice market. The air was thick with the scent of cinnamon, saffron, and sweet Turkish delight. Emin bought a fresh, warm sesame bread ring called a simit from a street vendor. "A classic snack for a classic city," she declared. Defne sat that evening, writing in her notebook. She thought about how the stones under her feet were first laid by Roman engineers and then walked upon by Ottoman sultans. Istanbul wasn't just old, it was stacked. A beautiful city built one incredible empire upon the next. "The city has so many stories," Emin said, covering Defne with a blanket. Defne closed her notebook. She knew 10 days wasn't enough to see everything, but she had touched history, crossed continents, and tasted the sweetness of this remarkable place. She promised the Bosphorus she would return.